It's the third episode of The Defenders and everything is clicking into place. Danny Rand, the impetuous billionaire with a really strong fist, has confronted the evil organization The Hand. But HES alone. And even with his well-honed fighting skills, HES in trouble. Pinned to a table by some martial arts ninjas, Rand's fate looks sealed. But then the Defenders enter, and the episode, not to mention the series, explodes into life with one of the best fight scenes ever seen in a Netflix Marvel show. And that is saying something. Until now, the show has focused on the individual stories of its four protagonists. Mild-mannered attorney Matthew Murdock, aka the abrasive mannered Daredevil, has devoted himself to the law. Private Eye Jessica Jones is devoting herself to drinking heavily and not working. Luke Cage has just got out of prison. And Rand, or the Iron Fist, is the only one who has continued his fight against evil. Exploding into life. The Defenders. Photographs Sarah Schatz's Netflix, but due to various circumstances, each of them has ended up at Hand HQ. So just when it looks like Rand, played by Finn Jones, is defeated, Luke Cage arrives, played with smoldering power by Mike Colter. After 2 episodes of small beer individual fighting and essential but not exactly kick-ass character development, this is what we have been waiting for. Showtime. Over a hip-hop soundtrack, Cage and Rand go to work. Cage throws a man into a wall. Rand kicks someone in the head. Men arrive with guns. They try to shoot our heroes. Rand ducks behind Cage, who soaks up the bullets. Teamwork. Meanwhile, Jones, who has always been less earnest and more reluctant than the other 3, is making her way to the battle with Murdock. He's wrapped a scarf over his face in an attempt to hide his real identity. "You look like an asshole," she tells him. It's been 2.5 years since Netflix first launched its own mini-Marvel universe. Daredevil was the first, with Charlie Cox playing the blind attorney with super hearing and spatial awareness. Jessica Jones, played by Kristen Ritter, followed in November 2015. Luke Cage arrived last September, and Iron Fist aired in March this year. In January, in a basement under the Manhattan Bridge in Chinatown, I got to meet the Defenders, just after they'd filmed a scene. Cox, clad in a dark suit, said he had been acutely aware of how long it was taking to achieve this 4-hero mashup. "When I signed a contract to do Daredevil," he said, "I vaguely remember my agent saying, eventually they're going to do the other 3 shows. And then there's going to be this team-up. And I just remember thinking, yeah. Well see. It was Daredevil's decision to give up fighting and stick to the law that provides his first meeting with Jessica Jones. He is called to defend her in court. They're 4 people who don't tend to have many friends," Cox said. "Initially they don't know each other. They don't trust each other. It's particularly difficult for Murdock because he has a secret identity. An icy cool new villain, Sigourney Weaver as Alexandra in The Defenders." Photographs Sarah Schatz's Netflix. After the first 3 Marvel series received positive reviews, Netflix was widely seen to have stumbled with Iron Fist. They're hoping The Defenders represents a return to form, and the reappearance of secondary characters from each of the 4 original shows is likely to please fans. The reason the Defenders have united is to fight Alexandra, a wealthy New York magnate who is the head of a powerful organization. Sigourney Weaver plays her as an icy cool villain and, back in January, the parallels with Donald Trump's recent election victory and inauguration were obvious. When Ritter was asked about this, the mere mention of the US president was clearly too upsetting, even for the woman who plays Jessica Jones. "I'm going to cry," was all she would say. But Colter and Jones brought up the parallel themselves. "The enemy we're dealing with isn't too dissimilar to the danger we're seeing going on in America right now. There's corruption and confusion in the world right now with our politics, and the enemy we're fighting," said Jones. "We're essentially defending society and morals," added Colter. The Defenders is on Netflix from Friday.